Thank you for purchasing this course. My name is Brightinum. I'm your instructor for this course. In this course, I'm going to guide us through Microsoft Word. I will show us how to use Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is an office tool that is used for creating of documents, editing of documents, and modification of documents. So in today's video, I will take us through this step-by-step approach to loading Microsoft Word, using Microsoft Word, and even to the point of printing a document with it. To get started, you have to ensure that your Microsoft Office is installed. If you don't have it installed, you can obtain it from a store. You can buy the sticks from a store. You install and activate. If you don't know how to install, you can contact someone who knows how to do that, or you look up online. So once you have your Microsoft Office installed, it usually comes in suite other applications with Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and some of those applications. So once you have the Office installed, it should automatically come with Office Word. So once you have it installed, you should have an icon like this on your desktop. You can see my icon. I just highlighted it on the desktop. If you look at the cursor that I'm hovering around it, you will be able to see. So you should have an icon like this on the desktop. It shows that it's installed. But if it's not there, another way to check that it's installed is by searching. If you are using Windows 10 or higher version, so you can search from here, Word, and it's going to come up. And this is the application icon for Office Word, and of course we can see that Word is here. You can go right ahead to click to load the document. If you don't want to use that, you can click on Windows button. Once you click on Windows button, if you are using Windows 11, you click on all. If you are using Windows 10, there should be a pane for you to scroll through to check all the applications that are available. So here in Windows 11, you click on all for you to see all your applications. And once that's clicked on, you will see an interface like this, which you can scroll to where you have your Word installed. So it should be installed as a separate program. So we have to scroll to where we have W. And of course, we can find Word installed here. So these are the approaches you can adopt to detect if Word is installed or not installed on your OS. Another way is by, checking the system to see if truly is installed. So I'm going to go ahead to minimize this. I just click to open this interface. So if you click on it, either way, it's going to take you to this interface. Another way of finding out if Microsoft Office is installed on your OS is by going to the list of installed programs. So I'm going to go ahead to minimize this window. Then click on the Windows button, Settings. And then under Settings, I want to go to Apps. That's Applications. And then I go to Installed Apps like so. And I should be able to see the list of installed apps here. So if you come here and search for Office, we can see that we have Microsoft Office Professional Plus installed. So this comes and suit all the Office programs that you need in your OS to be able to run Microsoft Word. Like I said, it comes with other packages like Excel, PowerPoint, and so forth. All right, let's go back to our Microsoft Office. So we're going to start from this point to discuss the interface to see how it works. So here I have the window opened. We can see the title Word. The recent files might not appear if you've not used it before. Why this appears is simply because I've used We have the blank document, which is what we are going to use to create a new document. We have templates here. There are numerous templates that they've provided us with. We can even go online to find other templates. So you can come here and search for a template online. Maybe you want to do something that has to do with newspaper. So you can just come here, search for newspaper, press enter, and it's going to go online to search for a template that, appears more like newspaper. And of course, we can see there are a lot of newspaper templates here, which you can click. If you click, you can always create, and it's going to download the template for you. So if you are working with a newspaper company, this is good for you to adopt. All you need to do is, set the paper size, which I believe it should set it already. Newspaper size is different from normal paper size that we use in the office. The rampant one that we use in the office is A4. So it is likely to give you a different size for newspaper. And of course, we can see the template has been downloaded, and it has loaded the template direct from the internet. So if we go to layout and then size, okay, the size is not actually specified here, but I know very well that it comes with a size. It should be newspaper size. So, and when you come with, when you download a template like this from the internet, all you need to do is just go ahead and delete it. These are dummy text, so you just have to, select the part that you want to edit and then go ahead to type whatever you want to type inside. So if I do equal lorem 10, equal lorem, then I do 10 like so, close this bracket and press enter. It should be able to generate a dummy text for me. And of course, we can say this equal, of course, it's similar. You can see this is the one I created and this is the one that came with the document. So lorem ipsum is simply a dummy text that is always used as a placeholder text to create space for the main text that will be integrated into a program or a document like this. So that was lorem ipsum. So all you need to do is just click, go ahead and change it to whatever you want to, change it to. So that is it. What I'm going to do right now is close this. Of course, I can click on file and do new, and it's going to take us to a similar interface, but I want to close this and go back to that interface that it took us to. Now, if you followed what I did and you were able to identify a sample newsletter paper, either the same as mine or similar to mine, and then you are tempted to add changes to the document, if you try to close now, it's likely going to bring a pop-up like this. So telling you, do you want to save your changes to document 1? It's likely going to name it document 1. It's a predefined name. Of course, it's dynamic anyway, because if you open another one, it's going to call it document 2. You keep on opening it, it calls it document 3 and so forth. But in a few while, I'm going to show us how to, save a document to the custom name. But for now, since we've not saved, the system is likely going to dynamically create us a name that looks like document 1, document 2, depending. So if it says save to document 1, it actually means this document. And if you go to this section where my cursor is right now, you can see that it's titled document 1-Wade. Wade is the program, and then document 1 is the title of that program, the dynamic and system auto-generated document title. So that's it. So what do you do when this shows? You can either cancel, you can either say don't save or save. And what does this mean? Save is going to save the document. It will prompt you to save it to a folder in your system. If you say don't save, it's going to discard the document and nothing will be saved. If you say cancel, it will take you back to the document and you can continue to, edit the document. So at this point, what I want to go with is don't save, because I don't want to save this template. Although the template is now downloaded to my, Word, but I don't want to save the contents that I just entered. So I want to go back and double click Word at this point. Remember, this is just one of the ways we can use to access Word. And here we are. So it takes us back to that initial interface. So we can see the template. So any of these templates that you pick is going to act the same way as the one we downloaded online. It's just that this one came with the system. And we can see that the one I just downloaded online has been added to my list of templates. So the next thing that we want to look at is open other documents. So this is a button that you can click. If you do, it's going to, it can take you to recent documents. Like I said, I've worked on some documents. That's why I have this list of documents. So if I just go ahead to select any of these, it will open it automatically. You can open from OneDrive, but I've not linked my OneDrive. You can open from this PC, which will make you to, choose a file from the folders that are available on your PC. So you can add a place. Do you want to choose OneDrive or OneDrive for Business? So depending if you use cloud storage, you can pick from here. And then we have the browse. Browse is going to, make you select a file from your file system. So this is actually my file system, and it's taking me to documents, telling me to pick a document from the documents folder. If I have a document that I want to open, let's say someone sends me a document through email and I've downloaded it to my downloads folder. So all I need to do is just scroll to my downloads folder and pick the document I intend to open. But then there's one thing that we have to take note of. Although Microsoft Word can open a PDF file, the major file extension, the major type of file that Microsoft Word is meant for is the .docx. So if we look at this file extension, we have what we call file extension. This is actually someone's document. So if we look at this file extension, we can see that we have .pdf. And I just hovered on it. We can see that the tab is Adobe Acrobat document, simply because I've set Adobe Acrobat to be my default PDF viewer, and then we can view the size. If I scroll to, these are just some of the tabs that I can open, because it has specified here all with document docx, .pdf is there. Of course, I can change to all file tab, and if I change to all file tab, we can see that we have, images here which ends with .png. So how do you identify a file extension? The one that starts with .png is actually the file extension. So, and we see that if we attempt to open this, is not working because it's not an appropriate file type. But we can open a PDF, and such PDF must be a type that was created with Microsoft Word. But what you must take note of is that the file type that is accepted here in Microsoft Word must end with .docx. So let me show us an example of a file type that is accepted here. So we can see we have this one, scholarship.docx. I don't actually want to preview that. So we have scholarship.docx. We can see that the last text separated by dot is .docx, which shows that it is a document format. We also have .doc. .doc is actually an old type, but it is compatible with all versions of Microsoft Word documents. So if you save your file as .docx, as we progress, we are going to learn that if you save it as .docx, it's going to be compatible across all of Microsoft Word program. But with this .docx, I think it works with, I think from version 210, Office 210 opens .docx very well. To 10 to 11, all those versions, 19, it will open appropriately well. But the thing is that if you take this .docx that you created with version 210, for example, I'm using Office with 219. Of course, we were able to see when I went to the list of installed programs. So if you create with version 19, and it's giving you .docx, and then you take it to a lower version, a version lower than that of 210, because I think from 210 comes with .docx. You can do the experiment to see. So if you take it to a lower version, let's say version 2007, it's likely going to scatter. But the good thing is that if you take from a lower version, which is likely going to come with .docx, and then you take it to version 219, 2021 version, or any other higher version, is likely going to open perfectly well, and it will appear formatted the way the first one was. That's the original document itself. So you have to take note of these things. So let's load our Microsoft Word again. So I'm going to use another technique to load this. So what I want to do is search for Word here, or I can just come here and do Word. Okay, so this is the interface, the landing interface, the landing page, if I may call it. So if we do open documents and then we browse, like we did, then we go to documents, then I scroll to all these documents are private documents, but let me pick this CyberStack Technologies. So I think I can go with this, and then I do open. So we can see that it has opened, and it opens well, simply because this is the supported format. But if I go to open, browse again, and I choose an unsupported format, for example, like PDF is likely to open anyways. Then another thing is Office may choose the file type that it wants. It may choose, all Word documents. And once this is selected, you will not be able to see other file types in the folder that you are in. So if I change it to all files, *** simply means all file types and all file extensions. So I should be able to see all file types and extension. And if I should go to let me go to pictures, and then I pick one of these and then try to open, it's likely not going to open. Of course, we can see no matter the encoding format you pick, is likely not going to open because it's a picture file. So it's attempting to open this picture file as a document, and that's not going to work. So you have to be sure that you're opening the right file type. And of course, if we look at this area, which we call the title bar, we can see that the file type is actually the name of that picture. And you must not change, if you edit something right now and save, it may scatter the image. So you just have to close it and then don't save anything so that you can still open the image. So that's it on opening file. So I want to take us back to that initial stage. So let's click to open Word. So it takes us back here. And at this point, if you have a recent document, of course, we can see that this is the picture I just added. So I want to remove it. Remove from list. I want to remove the CyberStack from list also. The PNG that I opened, I want to remove from list. So these are just the list of recent files that I've worked with. So if you want to open any of it, you just go ahead to click and it will open. Just normal click. So having covered that, I want to move into blank document. Look at it here, and by default is that if you press your enter key, it's going to open a blank document for you automatically. So What does blank document do? A blank document gives you the opportunity to create your document using your own template. Remember, when we went online and searched for newspaper templates, we adopted a pre-made template, and it was just for us to edit the template, fill it with the text we want to fill, with the pictures, and then print. But when you do blank document, it gives you the leverage to, add the contents that you want to add, format it the way you want to format, align the way you wish, put the pictures of your choice. So you have absolute control over your document. At this point, we want to look at the interface of MS Word document. It is pertinent to understand how this works. So we have the title bar. Of course, if we look at it, this is document 1-wait. Look at where my cursor is. So this very area is called the title bar. It shows the title of the document. So what I'm going to do now, I will click on File and then do Save As and then Browse. I want to browse to select the folder that I want to save it to, and I'm saving it to desktop. I want to call this document Udemy Class 1. Udemy Class 1. And then I press Save. So that being done, we can see that the title of this document has been changed to Udemy Class 1. So that is it. This area shows the name of the file that we are working with. We also have the quick access toolbar. The quick access toolbar contains some tools, a few tools that we can use to work with your document. For example, it comes with this save. This one is save. I just hover on it and we can see the tooltip save coming up there with Control S. Control S is the shortcut, but the main function is to save a document, which means if I do, I am learning, and then I save, it's going to add it to this document such that if I close this document and then later I have need to reopen this Udemy Class 1 document, it's always going to be there. But if I don't save, once I close the file and then I select the don't save command, it's going to discard whatever content I added to it without saving. So that is the function of this save, and it's just a quick access tool that you can use because save is often used in documents. You could do Control S and all those things. So while you are typing, it's easier for you to just pick your cursor, go there, and then you do save. We also have undo and redo. And of course, we can see that these two tools are inactive. Why it is so is simply because we've not added any change to this document. So if I make a change and say Office Word, I just type Office Word here, we can see that the tools are active. One is repeat typing. This is not actually anyways, in previous versions of Office Word, it's called redo. So while this one is undo, so undo is going to take it off, then redo is going to bring back that which has been taken off. So that is the essence of undo and redo. But then it does not mean that these three tools that we find here is always going to be here on this quick access toolbar. So it is customizable. How do you customize it? You click here. Once you click on this button to drop down, you then select the kind of tools that you want. And if we look at it, we can see that redo, which of course I told us on other versions is called redo, but here they are saying repeat typing. So it's the same thing. So redo is checked. So if I uncheck, we can see that it's gone and we are left with only two. And what are the two that is left? We have the save, which is checked here, and we have the undo, which is checked. So I want to check this back to bring it back. And of course, we can see currently it's inactive because we have not modified the document. So what if I want to add other things like open? So you see, I just added another command, which is if I click here, I should be able to open other documents. So I want to go back and revert it to the way it was. So all I need to do is click here, then come to, open and uncheck. There are other advanced tools that we can apply, but I think at this point, I shouldn't go that deep since we are just starting this class. We have more commands. And I believe at the end of this class, I'm going to, show us everything starting from this home tab, starting from the scratch again. I'm going to show us everything from scratch. And I believe when I return, I will touch these areas. And by that time, I believe that we might have gained enough knowledge and might have familiarized ourselves very well with the office environment, and it will not look completely strange or difficult to us. So thanks for your understanding. So another tool that we have is the ribbon display option commands. This sign in, if you have a Microsoft account and you've purchased your office, you can always sign in. It's not mandatory to sign in, so I've not signed in. If I want to sign in, I can sign in now, but I do not want to sign in, so I will go ahead to close. So if you have a Microsoft account and you want to, synchronize your settings, you can always sign in. We have auto hide ribbon. Auto hide ribbon is always automatically going to hide the ribbon here. This area is called ribbon. They hold up this. So if you checked auto hide ribbon, it's always going to hide it. And once you take the cursor off that area, it's going to go off. The essence of that is to help you type better, be able to view your document, pay more attention to your document than the commands. So another command that we have here is show tabs. Show tabs is only going to show you the tabs that are up here, like the file tab, the home tab, the insert, and all of that. So when you click, the commands will come up. Another option that we have here is show tabs and commands. So here's the command section. So we have everything, the tab, the ribbon as a whole, which contains the title, the tabs, the commands, section. So that is how this works, the ribbon display options. And this is to minimize, I believe we are familiar with these ones. So if we are not, this is to minimize. This is to cascade your documents, your window rather. So if you check this, your window can be reduced to a smaller size, where you can adjust and still be able to access other programs. So you can work on 2 programs concurrently, keeping 2 windows active. So this is to close. So we are now going to close that. I want to go ahead to talk about the tabs that we have here. You can equally call it menus. So I want to cover the file tab, the home tab, the insert, the design. So I think in Office 2007, if you are using an old Office, which is not advisable, so please, if you are using an old Office, try and upgrade to a newer version. It's very important to update your programs. If you don't update your programs, you may leave your system vulnerable to attacks. On a side that you may not have the enhanced experience that others are having while is in the program. So update it. So in older versions, it used to show a button called Office button. So, but I think from Office 2.10, they eliminated it and we are using file. So if you click on the file tab is going to load an interface like this. There are actually a lot of things on this file tab, which I will come back to explain to us, because the file tab encompasses a lot of commands, which if I try to explain to us at this preliminary stage, we may not be able to understand very well. So I'm just going to take us through some of the things that we have to understand. So starting with the info, The info has to do with the information about the document. And of course, we can see the title of the document. The title is class 1. We can see a command called protect document. So if we click on this, we can always, mark the document as a final copy, and it will become a read-only document. We can encrypt with password. We can restrict editing, from others. So there are a lot of things that we can do on this document, but at this point, I'm not going to, go deep into this. We can also inspect our document to check for issues. Inspecting the entire document, hidden properties and personal information, and also accessibility check. Accessibility check has to do with, making sure that your document can be accessed by those who are differently abled persons. Those with disability can access your document, and those the normal can also access the document. So that's what accessibility check has to do. And then manage documents. You can always recover unsaved documents from here. So at this point, I will not go deep into this, but we just have to know that it falls under the information of the document. And then the properties. This is one thing that we have to take note of. We also have advanced properties, which I'm not going to look at this point, but at the end of this training, I am going to come back and then I will cover all these things and we will understand better. So of course, we can see the size of the document currently is 11.5 KB, which stands for kilobyte, 11.5 kilobytes. And then we have pages. We have just one page. The number of weights, we have 5 weights. The total editing time. So these are just the attributes of the document. If you want to add a title to this document, you can go ahead to tags and comments. You can go ahead to, so you can see another information is the last date modified. So this is one way. If somebody send you a document and then you want to inspect the documents, to see some attributes about the document, you can always come to document properties, and from the document property you can read about the document. You can see the author too. My name is Bright Inam, and of course I'm the author of the document. I just created it, and of course we saw when I used Udemy class 1. So who last modified the document? It was last modified by myself. And then we have related documents. So if you want to open the file location, we can. The file location is simply where it's stored. And I just hover on it. We can see that it is stored in a C drive, users, Bright, and then desktop. So we can click to view all document properties. And there's nothing much again. Still under the file tab, we have new. And new is simply to help us create a new document, and we can see that it takes us to that page that we came across when we initially started this class, where we can select templates and create new documents. So I believe we are already familiar with this interface, so I don't have to explain this again. So if you don't really understand how this works, start the video again, just start over and you will understand. Okay, we have open. Open is very similar to what I showed us earlier while we opened the Office with the interface, the landing interface. So what open does is it helps you to open your document. Remember, we opened JPEG pictures which were invalid file formats for Office Wait. We opened PDF. We opened real Office file format, and we were able to read the content. And the invalid file formats, we saw ciphertext and things like that, which we were unable to read. So here you can access your recent files if you've worked. So you can access your recent files from here, and then you can access files from OneDrive, this PC. So you can pick files from this PC if you want to. You can add a placement from OneDrive or from other online sources. You can browse the entire document, your file system. So you can browse a file from your file system. It's just for you to go and pick. But then when you are opening, always ensure that you don't check all files. you pick all Word documents. The essence of picking this is to ensure that it filters the documents that are compatible with Office for you. Because if you do all, it's going to, select all file types. And for example, I cannot open this Chrome Bright. It's not going to work. So it's going to, write some ciphertext, and of course we can see it. So we don't understand the meaning of this. It's only the computer that understands what it means. So, and this is an executable file. We can see chrome.exe. So you don't want to open that. So when you are opening, let me go ahead to remove this. Don't want to mistakenly click on it. So when you are opening your file, you have to ensure that the type is all Word document so that it can filter and present to you only files that are compatible with Office Words. If you want to open any additional documents, you can, but at this point, we have a document currently open, so we are not going to open any. So if you have documents on your recent files, you can just click to open, or you right click to remove from the list. So these are private documents, so I'm not going to open any of this. So we have save. Save is the same thing as what happened here. You will like to save your document because it's going to save it to your hard drive such that when you close the document, it will not go off. If we just open this program and then we type something, whatsoever, even if we type 10,000 text, of course, Microsoft has, made significant improvement, and the program can always autosave sometimes. It can autosave such that you can recover if you fail to save your document. It will just mark the number of minutes you stay on the page and then will save so that they can recover in case you are using desktop where you may not have constant power and probably you are not connected to UPS. But then the essence of saving your document is to save it to the hard drive. The hard drive is the secondary storage on your computer where you can always recover files from, even when the computer is shut down. But when you don't save, it will remain on your RAM. RAM is random access memory. Is a volatile memory, and everything on the RAM goes off immediately the computer is shut down. So you have to be sure to save your documents like so. So you can use this icon. This icon that we have here symbolizes save. So if you click, it's going to save your document, or you go to file and do save. So you have to choose when you are working in, in an environment where you are pressured or you have a lot of things to do. You need to make sure that you adopt the shortest route, the shortest means to always execute your task. So I think it's simpler to do this. Come here to Quick Access Toolbar and then you do save. Or you use shortcut. We have Control A. So of course, if we hover, we can see. So how do you do Control plus S? You just need to hold down your Control key and then you press S, and it's going to save your document for you automatically. So you don't just save, you only save when you make changes to your document, either you modify, delete out something, or you add. So that's it with that command. Then we have save as. Save as is kind of similar to save, but when you do save as, it's going to save a new copy of your current file. So if I do save as now, it's going to save this document, but no longer as Udemy class 1. It's going to save it as an entirely new document. So though it's likely going to pick the first name that you gave it. So if I want to save it to documents now, it's still showing me the first name, but it is not actually the, it's like a carbon copy of the first document. It's picking the entire content of the first one. And one thing that you need to take note of before you do save as, make sure you click save if you want to add the current changes that you make to the old document. But if you don't want to add the current changes to the old document, that's the document that you want to save a new copy of, you can always go ahead to do save as. And then when you do, it's going to take you to an interface like this where you can, select your folder. So here we are in the documents folder, and of course we can see it on the address bar here. And one thing is that it gives you the leverage to change. You can change to maybe YouTube class 1, for example. And if you want to change it to PDF, you can change the file type also. We can see we have save as type. So this is another thing we have to look at under save as. And we also have to note that if you've not saved your documents before, it's always going to prompt save as. So if you've not saved your documents before and you click save for the first time, you will see save as appear. That's simply because you've not saved it to your secondary storage, to your hard drive. The document remains on the RAM, and it's going to pop up the save as to, telling you to store it on a secondary storage where you can recover after power outage or maybe after closing the document. So here you can choose the file type that you want to after choosing the location. And of course, we can see under documents, the other folders. So if I want to store it to, the Zoom folder, I can always open the Zoom folder and store it in there. And of course, we see it has been selected, but I don't want to store it in there. So I want to store it into this folder. So we have our file name. You can give it any name that you want. This .pdf is simply because I've selected the tab and I've changed it to PDF. You can decide to use that DOC. DOC is compatible file format, and you can run it with, we can see that it's with 1997 to 2003. So it can run with any version of Microsoft Word, even if you are using the old version. So I have to take note of that, and you can always edit the author's name here. So you want to say the author's name is James. You can always say, okay, I'm going to give James to my author, and the author will now be named James. You can add tags. You can say business. You can just, say cybersecurity, whatever tags you intend to add to your document. We also have another command here. We call it tools. So you want to save it to a network drive. You can always, save it here. We have save options. These are advanced options which we will look at later in this course. You want to save it to web. So you can always modify, but these are advanced options which I will take us back at the end of this training. So at this point, I want us to restrict the training to the file name, the save as type, the author, and then the tags. At the completion of this training, we are going to come back as form of refreshment, and then we will look at the save thumbnails, the tools, because if I cover these things now, it may appear kind of complex for us. So we need to understand what Microsoft Word is all about. We need to understand from the basic to the advanced, and not the advanced to the basic. So we have to follow that manner and not the vice versa. So we can now save. Now that we've selected our folder, we choose our file name and the type. So regarding this type again, let me quickly add, if you want to keep it on the default, you will want to keep it on the default type. If you don't really need another file type, you cannot just want to save your document and say, okay, I want to save it as PDF. If you save as PDF, PDF is not the appropriate file format for Word. So if you do in this format, it's going to give you issue when you are trying to open, especially when it's a document that contains tables and images. So it's likely going to scatter. So if not needed in that format, you will always like to go with the .docx, which is the standard format for saving a document. So then you do save. So we can see that our title has been changed to YouTube class. And if I add something to this one, Office Word, and then I just type YouTube and press full stop and then save, we can see that it is saved. I can close this. But if I go to our Udemy class, the first file that was created and saved to our desktop and open, we can see that the new changes has not been made to this one because we are now working with a new copy of the Udemy class. So if I close and then go to my documents, YouTube class 1, we can see that the YouTube is there because this is the new copy of that one. So I'm going to go ahead to close this and delete this document because I don't need it. And then reopen the old copy. So still on that file tab, we have this new command that is added here, save as Adobe PDF. So if you want to save as PDF, you can go ahead to click save as Adobe PDF. But then they're asking me to pay. So I have a lot of bills to pay. So I don't want to, okay, let me see. This actually comes because I've installed Adobe Acrobat PDF Viewer in my OS. So that is why it popped up. And of course, okay, let's give it a few minutes. Let's give it a few minutes. I want this class to be an interactive one. And I always want us to explore. So it's still loading. I believe it's trying to take us to the internet so I can make a subscription. Or maybe it could convert it for me, but I don't always use it. So I'm going to show us an easy way to convert to PDF. And of course, I've done that already because it's just that save as, but I'm going to show us again. PDF stands for Portable Document Format. Document saved in PDF remains in that format, and you can transfer from a system to another without it being altered. Okay, that's too slow, so I'm going to go ahead to close. And if we notice, it took us to a third-party program, being that Adobe Acrobat. And when I clicked, it even showed that, create one PDF for free every 30 days. So I don't want to use this to create a PDF document. So I just need to go to save as, select where I want to save my PDF to, which is desktop, and then choose .pdf, and it's going to save the document as PDF. I just saved now. And of course, we can see it as saved, and even the Adobe Acrobat has opened it for me automatically. So that is how to save as PDF. So I don't consider it necessary for you to pay to, convert to PDF with Microsoft Office. But if you want to follow that format, you can pay for it. You may. But personally, I have a lot of bills to pay, so I don't think it's necessary. I pay for cloud infrastructure and still have to pay for, minor things like this. So we have print. This is print preview where you can print your document. So at this point, I'm going to skip this until we complete this training. So when we do, I'm going to come back to this point and show us. We have share. You can share this document through email. We have share as Adobe PDF link. So it's going to take it to Adobe Cloud and Store. So if you want to do that, you can. But at this point, I'm going to leave the rest of the things. The major thing that I want us to take note of on this file tab is the info, the new, which will make us to create a new document. They open, they save, and they save as. So these are the 5 commands that I want us to take note of at this point. At the end of this training, I'm going to come back to File tab and show us the rest of the commands, how it works.